Game begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through OFSI has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
You better listen up. Listen when I'm feeling it. Yeah, I got a hit list. Never chasing any bag, only teach where to place them. Follow on a throne, don't need another man telling me how to live my life lavishly. Cause I'm built different, boy, let me speak. Try to pretend me, but you take it to the main dish.
Dogs, for sure.
Dogs.
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 Soccer, for sure.
Soccer?
Soccer.
Oh, soccer.
iPhone.
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 Night owl. Not gonna lie.
Night owl.
Night owl.
Night owl.
Summer.
Oh, summer.
Summer.
Summer, definitely.
Twitter.
Instagram.
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 Multiplayer games.
Multiplayer.
Single player.
Multiplayer games.
Google Chrome.
Chrome.
Google Chrome. Come on.
Google Chrome.
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a smashing evening. I say a smashing evening for a beautiful game of football. My name is Gareth, and I'm going to be joined by my wonderful co-caster, YG, the absolute expert when it comes to these.
Yep. Hey, man. How's it going?
I'm doing very, very good. We've seen quite a competitive history with the with our lovely player here. I believe his name is Josh, but he goes by something a little bit different in game. He has had phenomenal game against Durham College. He absolutely clobbered the guy. He was the poor bloke had no chance. It was awful. It was like he didn't even have a controller. You know, unfortunately, you were feeling a little bit under the weather that day, so you know you couldn't quite join me on the interviews. But man, oh man, it was quite a phenomenal game that was.
Yeah, I heard it was amazing. He absolutely destroyed him. 10-2 on that last map.
Yeah, it's you know the opponent just had no answers, and I mean you know when you're facing a person of that caliber, you know what answers do you really have? But speaking of caliber, let's take a look at the caliber of competition that we've got. A potential Condors versus Condors final. You can see the Conestoga Condors ECAC is going to be in that upper bracket, and the Conestoga Condors Varsity is going to be on that lower bracket. Both of them staring down a spot in the semifinals.
Yeah, both of them trying to take wins tonight.
Yep.
After talking a little bit with Josh tonight, he seems confident. about, maybe we've heard some things about his opponent using
Oh,
a
really?
very strange team tonight that's not usually used.
Okay. Do you wanna tell us a little bit about that, or should we wait until we actually get into the game?
Well, we might leave that as a surprise, but we'll tell you
Alright,
right now. The usual player in FC 26 and 25 and 24 actually
Really?
sticks to Atletico Madrid when playing really defensively.
Yeah.
In this new game, this guy's trying to start a new meta, going for the Inter
Interesting.
Milan pick.
Interesting. Well, meta shifts are absolutely no, it happens all the time in these competitive games, especially when you're at the top of the very tippity top. Everybody wants to have the best stuff. Everybody wants to have some kind of surprise up their sleeve to just catch you off guard and just get that first game. And, even though a one game in a three or in a best of 3 or best of 5 series might not seem like a lot, in FIFA it is quite important, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if FIFA is the closest thing that you can get to actually playing the sport and momentum, emotions,
yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that takes place in the actual pitch takes place here in this virtual picks for
Yeah.
our PS5s.
Absolutely, it does. But you know what? I do have a spot of confusion, if I'll be brutally honest, about the teams. When you pick a team, what really happens? Is it if you win, you don't get to pick that team? Run us through the match.
Yeah. When you pick a team, I'm pretty sure it's only when they win, they do not get to use that team again. That bullet's done, burned.
Gotcha.
Have to keep it going. Because already, you already were good. You played good with that team. You don't get to play with it again.
Fair enough.
You gotta dabble in different play styles, keeps the competition fresh. Compared to, I'm pretty sure it was FC24. The first time I got to cast Joshua, it was just Madrid. All 3 maps. It was a little interesting.
Jolly good show indeed. Now, thankfully, we won't be seeing any of that, but I do believe that Josh has a very specific play style that he does like to stick to, no matter what his team is. I mean, obviously, there is some variation with, depending on the players, but generally, I find that he plays quite a very aggressive team. Maybe you could speak a little bit more on that.
Yeah, Joshua likes to build a lot, just hunt you down, try to build up, and just break down your defense. And that might be why this player is starting to use his Inter. Just try to slow him off. He might be already too used to playing this Atletico Madrid or Bayern that is really good defensively and physically. But throw in Inter, who have probably a 4-4-2. There's 8 players in that low block of defense. And it's so hard to break down. And as he said himself, the game isn't consistent enough to be able to break down such a defensive low block.
That is very, very true. And, we were actually talking to Josh, and you can speak on this as well. He was trying to do a little bit of research into his opponent, but unfortunately, all the games that his opponent lost, they were buy-ins. He just didn't show up, so Josh is kind of going in a little bit blind. He doesn't quite know what really makes the opponent break. So, this is basically going to be a first-of-its-kind stream. If he can figure out what his opponent's weaknesses are, this will be the first time anybody sees that player's weakness.
Yeah, well,
in
there
this
you
series.
go. We'll be able to show it to the world. Josh will expose him tonight, hopefully.
Yes.
And I don't know. I see him confident. He wants it. He's locking in right now.
Oh, yes.
And that's exactly the type of coldness you need to take a spot in a grand final.
Absolutely. Pardon me. Coldness in a player is really quite important, and Joshua is very much like the winter that we had this year. Very, very cold, very, very unforgiving, like dipping down into -40. That's how cold he is. It's that ball turns into just straight ice, and the other players hurt their foot when they kick the ball, and then Josh can just take it. It's phenomenal strategy. I've never seen anything quite like it in football.
He's absolutely nasty. Like, I'm pretty sure I played him on our last award show, and he made the bet that he wouldn't let me score. He, in fact, made that true.
Okay. How many times did he score?
Probably like 5 or 6 per game. But
Okay.
I think it's because he started just trolling around afterwards. He saw how to break me down too fast. And I wouldn't call myself bad at the game either. I had a lot of posts, but he did not let me consolidate any of my chances.
Yeah, no, Josh is he's a very methodical player, and again, that just comes back to the coldness of him. He's very, very calculated with how he wants to let you use the little space that you're given, and even though he likes to run Liverpool quite a bit, he has those very, very big players. Even if they aren't the most technically advanced, they do he's able to use the space so incredibly well that it doesn't really matter what you pick or how you decide to play. He will always lock you out of a goal or lock you out of converting a play into something that isn't completely terrible for your team.
Yeah, no, he understands the game really well. I'm pretty sure he actually plays the game in real life as well. That helps greatly. Your understanding of actual football can bring your game of FIFA so high, even when you haven't played the game ever. A person that watches football versus a person that doesn't watch football and they have never touched FIFA before. will be an absolute slam, let me tell you, because it's so much understanding. You know what you're doing already.
Exactly.
You just need to be told, this is pass, this is shoot. Do it.
Yeah. Once you figure out the buttons, you're as good as gold. You are.
Yeah, and then afterwards you get to the point like a player like Josh when you start unlocking all these hidden mechanics from the game, like the green shots, time shots, power shots, finesse shots, just pass and goes that the regular game doesn't tell you because the game is marketed as such a simple arcade game.
Yeah, and it's quite misleading. It is.
Yeah, it is very misleading with how much depth goes behind a FIFA game.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, let's expose some of those secrets because a lot of those terms that you were just saying, I did understand, but a green shot, I think you said.
Yeah.
That one really threw me for a loop. I don't think I quite understand that one. Can you break it down for us?
Yeah, so basically in FIFA, when you shoot, you have a chance that right as your player is about to make contact with the ball, you can re-tap the shoot button right as the player makes contact, and it will make your aim as true as an arrow.
Really?
It will make your shot be better, more accurate, more power, but it's so hard to time with some players.
Oh, okay.
So you can just bang that top bins almost every time if you have that coldness and the right players, and I'm seeing a Madrid.
Okay. I do believe that this is one of the 3 teams that Joshua is going to be drafting. I believe it's Madrid. Does he want Bayern? He has to go Bayern, right? Because he was saying a little bit earlier that he kind of had to go Madrid to kind of block it out from the opponent, if I'm not misunderstanding.
I'm pretty sure he said he's just banning it because now there is a banning system.
Right. Yes, that is correct.
There is a banning system in place, and yeah, here we go. We're seeing that switch. It was a little troll. I think maybe he hadn't seen it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Open
See,
up and
I was very excited. I thought he was going to open up with the Liverpool, but I think he said that that one is probably going to be relegated to the 3rd map if we get there. Mainly because I mean, come on, this team is just absolutely insane. Every single player is the utmost quality, and you can't really go wrong with any of the players.
Yeah, now we're gonna be seeing a very interesting matchup here. City being this team of build for the back, never release the ball, just never let go, compared to an Inter, which is what we expect. This is what we expect to see here. A Man City versus Inter according to both players' orders. And it's going to be very interesting because I don't know if City have the physicality to challenge an Inter side.
It's very, very tough to say. Let's not beat around the bush. Like, their defense is phenomenal, basically unparalleled, might I say. But kind of like what I was saying a little bit earlier. Josh, even if you give him a little bit of an inch, he will absolutely make a mile out of it. He knows the game. He knows absolutely how to manipulate the players. And with those tap and goes as well, he's able to just bring the ball back, shoot it back towards himself, and just kind of break open that defense. So even if the Inter does have quite a big defensive, kind of a turtle play style of just kind of trying to hold strong, I think that Josh is going to be very easily be able to find the cracks.
Yeah, and again, this is all going off the fact that if they don't surprise us and pick other teams, we're going to be loading up onto our map number 1. Let's see if the players stay true to their usual pick order, or we see a switch, and there we have it. We have Man City versus Inter staying true to their pre-picks as we load it into match number 1 at the Etihad Stadium.
Yeah, there we go. Another beautiful night for football, like I was saying a little bit earlier. Things are going to be a little bit slower, but, probably be picking up quite a bit of speed around that second half.
Yeah, now we're going here. Joshua is getting up on the field with Reinders with the ball, just dribbling it around with Cherky. Will lose the ball, and that is the strength of this Inter side.
Yeah.
So many players in the front of that box, and now there you have it, a through ball, and Luis Enrique will get there. He will cut it back. We'll get a shot. Goes around Donnarumma, and the first chance of this match will go to the Inter side, as Joshua's going to have to start making some adjustments in the back, as that's not too good.
No.
Loses the ball again very early, and the Inter side, he's all the way over again, has to bring out Donnarumma. He does, gets the ball, clean sweep. We'll start bringing it up. Rodri puts it up to Doku. Doku over.
Look at that
Pass it
pass.
back. No, gets cut off. It's going to be Di Marco bringing it up. No, Calancholu. Dumfries is bringing it up. Luis Enrique just keeping the ball. Nice little things. Zielinski. Lautaro just bringing it up. Just taking control. We'll put the through ball. He sees it. No.
Look at that intercept. What a beautiful play. And now that midfield is so much weaker because he's got to send everybody scrambling back towards. He's going to be able to get some tiki-takas. But unfortunately, it is going to go his way even still. Even though that ball was stolen, it is going to be taken once again. But we'll see if Josh can convert that into another steal. Oh, my goodness gracious. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. It's like the ball is magnetic.
Yeah, the ball sticking to that feet. But yeah, a lot of back and forth, but not a chance for Joshua. Rangers back to Savinho, puts it up to Cherky. If he cuts it back
Oh,
one more time, no, he
no.
doesn't. Returns the
Oh,
ball.
wait a minute.
He keeps it. Foul, offside. It will be Inter Milan ball. As Sommer will bring it up with Akanji. Just puts it back to DiMarco. Barella, just keeping control, trying to keep it calm. This Inter side's gonna want a slow pace of game because his players aren't that quick. Thuram, bring it up, crosses it, and again, back to Rodri. Rodri to Doku, bringing it back up to the mid. Cherky losing that ball on the defensive third. Up to Lautaro. Lautaro will have a shot, and he misses the top bins by about 2 inches. Joshua
man.
isn't finding the crack at this Inter side that he was telling us was going to be a little hard. Nunez is bringing it up, just keeping the ball close to the feet, doesn't go for the through ball. Now he should go for it. He doesn't. Just bringing up his play. Has all 4 players in the middle. Back to Reinders. Again, loses it to Akanji again.
No, all these players are so darn good, and you can see Josh there. He's being a little bit shaky after that ball just narrowly missed the goal. He might be going for a 3-peat, but he's able to kick it back to the goalie. I just hope he keeps his cool and, you know, just kind of calms down and lets himself breathe and make mistakes a little bit in this first game.
Yeah, we go back to our Belgian goat right here. Doku to O'Reilly. Gavario. Back to Rodri. Rodri to Rangers. Just keeping control again. Trying to play this true City style. But this City style was very punished by Inter this and last season. And we're seeing it again. Chakanoglu loses it to Rangers. Just bringing it up. Back to Doku. Goes for the dribble. No, Akanji's there. Knowing his old teammate from City from last season. Doesn't lose it. O'Reilly versus Luis Enrique. Passes it back to Chakanoglu. Puts it back. Zielinski. Just keeping control. The through ball's not there. He can't find it. Savinho's way over that ball. Rodri puts it through. Lautaro. He can put it across. And another miss. We have to be thanking the fact that the Inter side did not put their shooting boots on today, ladies and gentlemen. Guevardo's going to be bringing that ball up. Puts it up to Rangers. Gets it back to Mahmoud. Just has to dribble up. Has to get some more pace on it. These Inter defenders aren't so quick, and he loses it again to DiMarco. Akanji puts it off on the left wing.
Oh, man. It's like watching, you know, two very talented football players, because that is what we're watching, actually.
Yep.
But he's going to be getting another shot on this goal. He's just not had a lot of luck converting them. And there we go with the beautiful Caster Curse. My sincerest apologies. That was the first one that he's actually been able to convert into an actual goal there. Let's try to take a look at that one more time.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting some team management here out of Josh.
Something's going on.
Nothing is working. We're gonna be needing to draw back some players. This Inter side, I told you from the beginning, it punishes this City pick. I thought he was gonna go Bayern after if he was expecting an Inter, but now as I told you, he's getting completely bodied off every ball.
Yeah, and it sort of seems that way. The mid-control is absolutely no joke. It seems like every single time Josh is able to bring it onto the attacking side of the field, it just gets lost every single time because that midfield pressure, it's just so hard to overcome.
Yeah, no, Mahmoud just has it. Can't he dribble? Can you put it back? No, just taking as many defenders as he can. Rodri puts it to Doku. Lose it to Dumfries. Akanji just keeping the ball, playing with fire. Dumfries back out to the wing. We'll cut it back to Bastoni. Bastoni, the future Barca signing. Here we go. DiMarco puts it out wide. Puts it back to Luis Enrique. Zielinski. Back to Martinez, our goal scorer. He opened up the game right here. Zielinski, Thuram. Keeping possession, playing this fast possession that Inter loves so much. Loses it to Rodri. And Cherky, bring it up.
If there is a time to score, it is now. There are so few players on the defense, and unfortunately, it's just too much. Barbella taking the ball once again and passing it back over to what's his name?
Oh,
dear!
Offside. Very tight. That one was tight as well. Maybe Thuram should go down in sizes for his boots. And again, Cherky losing that ball up to Thuram. DiMarco puts it back up to Zielinski. The ball goes through to Thuram. That ball's fair. Can he put it back? Cuts back again. Just doing the Ronaldo chop. Trying to bait the defender. Gue is not there. Zielinski cuts it across.
Look at that.
Oh, Reinders is there to put that ball back. Rodri, the Ballon d'Or winner, puts it back to Mahmoud. Mahmoud puts that ball through the Doku.
Oh,
Can
my
the Belgian
goodness.
put it? Because he had more pace than Dumfries. He does.
Doku,
He crosses, puts it back out to Rodri. Gets that ball to Reinders. Back to Mahmoud. He can't turn around as Bastoni is there. Akanji puts it up. Chakanoglu, Zielinski. Just getting the ball up. Martinez puts it up to Luis Enrique. Bringing the ball up. Can he get the touch on it? No. O'Reilly makes him touch it back. Lautaro. Lautaro puts it back. Chakanoglu, more possession, a shot. Zielinski can't turn around.
Wait, but he's lost the ball once again now. This is the second time where Josh has turned around to play. Unfortunately, we did get to that halftime area. But you could see in the last play before halftime, Josh was able to break through that midfield defense, the iron wall that was set up by the other team. And he was able to kind of use it. Granted, it didn't convert into a goal. But the important thing is now he's starting to figure things out.
Yeah, this Man City versus Inter game is going exactly like it would go in real life. This is exactly how it went in real life, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez. Well, oh, that's not so good. That's not the kind of words of encouragement we want to hear. All right, let's bring up our player, our star player. He's been with the Condors for quite a long time. He's won, I believe, 2 championships. He's looking for a 3-peat before he heads off and finishes his college career.
Yeah, no, hopefully he can bring it back. It's okay. Inter, we did talk about it. Even I was confused. Why is he playing Inter? Right, there you go. A player that just has this random pick just in the bag, you know. So it's like a pitcher who's that's known for being a four-seamer. A four-seam thrower, but he just has a curveball in there for some reason, you know? Who knows?
Yes,
But
yes.
now, coming back to the play, Reinders bringing it up. Marmouche, he's keeping possession. Touches it down to Doku. Nice pass. Can he get O'Reilly up? No, O'Reilly won't go up. Reinders will bring it up. He puts it up to Savinho. Savinho to Cherky. The ball comes back to Savinho. Could be a goal. No, he can't. The ball comes back as Zielinski's bringing it up. Martinez, Lautaro puts it up to Thuram. Thuram gets the touch. If he gets the pass across, it could be something. No, puts it back out. Zielinski. Back to Luis Enrique. Turns around. Gets a touch. No, doesn't. Doku with so much space to run into. Only 4 players. Marmouche holds the ball. Puts it back out to Savinho. Cherky. He can cut again. Cuts again, but no. Loses it to Akanji, who's having a worldie. Zielinski puts it back out to Luis Enrique, who's faster than O'Reilly. This seems to be the case with every defender. Puts it back out to Lautaro.
Oh, no. What an absolute heartbreaker. Oh, no. Oh, it's just not looking so good. I believe with only 35 minutes left to turn this game around, he's got to score 2 goals. And with the current iron wall that has been set up, it's going to be very, very hard to maneuver past that. But let's not count Josh out just yet. He's one of the best that the Condors has ever seen for a reason. If there's anyone who could do it, it's absolutely him.
Yeah, loses Dragonoglu with the steal. Puts it to Zielinski. Martinez, who already has a brace in this game. Thuram just putting it through. Gets the ball to Zielinski, and that'll be the 3-0. No hat trick for Lautaro. But Zielinski will find it, and the change hasn't been found. There's just too much physicality. The entire front side of the field for this Man City side, a.k.a. Joshua, has no physicality. They're just getting bodied. They're too small.
It's very, very unfortunate. Now, oh man, I don't know how much you want to spill about this one, but perhaps we could talk about the tactics. You're saying that you know, it's just too small. Do you want to tell us about like you know, scratch that. I lied. I do like a good mystery on my hands. You know, just kind of figuring out for myself. Instead, let's take a look at what's happened already. You know, we've seen quite a lot of conversions around that midfield area. You know, this other team, they're just so insanely strong around that midfield area. You know, are there any star players that you've got your eyes on that's really bring that into play?
No.
No.
Nope.
Just the entire
City
team?
don't really have that. Holland could be a good switch at some point in the game. He's the robot for a reason. He's our Nordic Viking. If he was brought in, I have no idea anybody else. That's what we were talking about. Maybe not a Premier League side for Inter. It's a very bad mismatch to play a Premier League side into Inter. Just there's so much physicality. You can even see it just in the 3D renders of the players. They are so much bigger. But regardless, Reinders bringing the ball up. Holland did make it put on. And Semenyo. No ball. Zielinski being too clean today. Putting that ball up down the wing. Another pause being cute. Thuram puts that ball to Lautaro. It won't reach. Doku loses the ball again to Chakanoglu. Luis Enrique has a chance to put it across. Will get it. Lautaro. But Donnarumma with an outstanding save to keep the 0-3 alive.
Oh man, you know, all these shots on the goal is, you know, we certainly thought that the midfield aggression would be kind of their, you know, their oh geez, what am I trying to say? Their main focus, you know, just all the defense. But it seems like the best defense is a good offense, and you know, I don't think it's very crazy to say that it's absolutely true in this game. We've seen quite a very defensive team put on such a show with aggression and have so many shots on the goal. Even if not all of them went through, they were able to make so much space off of it that it's just kind of suffocated Josh a little bit, and he just hasn't been able to defend quite as much as he wanted to.
City is not a team that is good at defending. Their best defense is keeping the ball off of the enemy player. That's literally how City plays. That's how Guardiola taught Barca when he was there. That's how he taught Bayern when he was there. And it's all just keeping the ball off the player. If they don't have the ball, they can't attack you. But in this case, they always have the ball. As Lautaro gets across the defender, puts it across to Thuram. Thuram will have an open net. No, what a stop from Rodri. Rodri bringing it up to Nunez. Nunez back to Rodri. Puts it back up. Marmoush, Rodri. There's nobody on that wing. There's no space. The space is there, but no player is available. Doku back to Reinders. Reinders back to Doku. Doku to Holland. Holland coats it back to Marmoush. Rodri puts it up to Semedo. Won't get it.
Very, very unfortunate. It's looking a little bit bleak. We need to get hyped up. Tell us something positive.
Something positive. If he can get the ball to Haaland, that should be a bang, dead on. The issue will be getting the ball, but if the ball gets there, but Lautaro has a chance for the hat trick. And as we're talking about the possible goal on the other end, Lautaro gets his hat trick, which might be it for this map number 1.
It very well could be map number 1 in the bag for the other person, but let's not forget that they were able to score a couple goals in the matter of 2 in-game minutes. So there is a very real possibility that Josh is able to turn it around. The only issue is how is he going to get that space? Because like you were saying before that last goal went through, it's he was getting suffocated. There was just no way for him to do anything. There was just 2 players for every 1 player, and it was just so rough to play.
Yeah, we have to see what he can do. He hasn't gotten a shot on target, I'm pretty sure, this entire game. As Thuram with a beautiful ball in the back. He tries to cut it, puts it back, just dribbles, chops. Everything in the bag is being pulled up. Kacanoglu puts it back to Barella. Thuram has it. He's just playing around, wasting the time. We'll cut it back to Barella. Barella to Lautaro. Lautaro turns around, just baits, finesses. If he cuts around, he can get a finesse. No, Kacanoglu puts it back to Barella. And now the player from Oakland is just wanting to close this game out, playing the possession game, playing the long one. He already has his padding, and he's going to play the time game now.
He might just be looking to waste the time. I thought for a second there he was going to start playing with the goalie, and that would have really been rubbing some salt in the wound, but it looks like he is going to be continuing to play. He does give the ball over to Josh, so solid possession from him, but he's going to have to try to make something work. Unfortunately, that play does get interrupted once again around that midfield area. He can get it over to the other side of the field, but when it comes to converting that into a goal, it's just insanely hard.
He's just dribbling, wasting Josh's second defender. Call over as he puts it back to Kacanoglu, puts it to Zielinski. Zielinski turns around. He will miss in the 1v1 versus the keeper. Donnarumma puts it up, but the minute mark is 81. There's no time. Josh just needs to be able to break through once to at least know what it feels like to score against this guy. That's all that he needs right now to be able to be set up for map number 2.
Yeah, we'll absolutely cheer on board Josh, but we might need to go to map number 2 to get a more, like you were saying, this team pick is a bit of a curveball, especially for Josh. So I feel like if we get to a map number 2 and map number 3, there will be no curveballs left to throw.
Yeah, the curveball is out the bag. We're going to be going back to more basic stuff, and there it is, Doku! Doku gets through! And
Jolly good show.
Joshua found the way through on the boots of Jeremy Doku, assisted by Holland. That's what he needs. Now the clock will just be running out.
Yeah. Now his opponent's going to be playing a little bit scared, just to kind of bringing the ball back onto their side, just trying to burn the clock, just kind of pass. And just for the sake of passing, unless Josh is going to be feeling himself quite a bit and getting a second goal. We'll take
foul.
A look.
There's a foul on the pitch. Josh has to get the ball back, and he'll start playing it back. Bastoni just keeping the ball. Chakanoglu, Di Marco. Gonna put it back to Barella. Barella probably back to Sommer if I had to guess. And yeah, Josh knows it. He's just going to let the time run out, go on map number 2.
All right. He's going to have to wait out all this penalty time as well. Just an extra 2 minutes on the clock. But, his opponent is just not going to give him any fair chance of getting another goal and getting that mentality to start snowballing for Josh. He's just going to be keeping it away, and there we go. The last second ticks right down. And that's going to be game number 1. A 3-goal lead, not in favor of the Condors.
Yeah, I know that 4-1 Lautaro taking the match ball home, 3 goals, 6 attempts. To show you how much this guy actually attacked. Remember how he missed
Yeah.
like 4 chances in the first like
Yeah.
20 in-game minutes?
Yeah.
That was insane.
It was very, very insane, but, I'm hoping that we see something even more insane for map number 2. So make sure you stick around. Condors Esports on all your favorite social media channels, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, where we watch not just FIFA, but also a bunch of other games like Valorant, Call of Duty, Rocket League, and others of the sort. But now that the curveball is out of the way, do we have any ideas on what the other team is going to be picking for this map number 2?
Enemy team, no idea what he's going to be bringing. I just know that Joshua might be shifting towards his PSG pick or Liverpool. Hopefully, whichever one it is. A more offensive team, more inside of the meta of being amazing. And the enemy team, again, probably the same amount of options as Joshua. We might see him shift towards a Bayern, maybe a Barcelona, maybe an Arsenal. Who
Well,
knows?
in my notebook here, I've got that Madrid and Bayern are very, very likely options for a map number 2. We initially thought that he was going to be starting off with we thought that he was going to be starting off with PSG, but he actually went for that Inter, which was predicted for map number 2. So, just shifting everything by 1 game, Madrid or Bayern is looking like what's going to be in the forecast
Most
for game
likely
number
Bayern.
2. Yeah.
Most likely
Wouldn't be too surprised at that. And if we take a look at Josh's lineup, I believe his map number 2 is probably going to be PSG.
Yeah, PSG.
I'm not gonna lie, I do quite like that matchup actually.
Yeah, PSG, the issue now, it's going to be the same issue again. PSG is arguably a lot smaller than Bayern Munich, and that midfield is going to be so detrimental.
Oh,
Same with the
that's-
defensive
yeah.
line. But the good thing that Joshua has on his side, if he decides to pick PSG into
Mbappe.
Bayern, no, Mbappe's in Madrid. Mbappe's in Madrid.
Oh no, I'm a little bit behind. My apologies. Go on.
That's okay. Barcola, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, they're all there. Probably some of the best wingers in the game, some of the quickest outside of Mbappe and Vinny, who are in
Gosh.
Madrid. And guess what? That team is most likely banned for this series. Joshua usually bans it.
Yep.
And but yeah, Barcola, Dembele, they're really good at breaking down defenders that are strong because they're usually not quick.
Yep, exactly. We were kind of talking about curveballs a little bit earlier, how Interpol is kind of a curveball in and of itself. What do you think of Liverpool? Is that also a bit of a curveball? Not too much?
Liverpool's pretty good in FC26. It wasn't so good in FC25, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
People still picked it, just out of love of the game.
Right.
Arsenal was not there at all, and I've heard of some people playing Arsenal. Fair play.
Right. How about you, though? I know that you said that you dabbled a little bit, not quite Josh's level, but when you were playing, were there any teams that you gravitated to, aside from the standard ones that we're used to seeing on the big stage?
No, just basically the big stage. I usually just gravitate towards a Barca,
Yeah.
usually a Bayern. I refuse with my soul to play a Madrid.
All right.
But a diehard
How
Barca
come?
fan.
How come?
Or
Oh, never mind.
Barca fan, we cannot touch that jersey.
No, that does make quite a bit of sense. All right. I feel like there's just a lot of bad blood between those two teams. How come? Is it just like something that happened a little bit earlier?
It's just the
just-
long-lasting battle of Catalans not liking Spain, the Royals not
see.
liking the Catalans, and it's
I
just like
see, I
it's
see.
just the crown and the non-crown people
Yep,
fighting
yep.
for whatever 100 years of history they got.
I've got you. And now, turning our attention to, the right now at least, who do you think is going to be taking the cake of those two teams in the current FIFA World Cup? It's coming up in just a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. So, any predictions?
For the viewers at home, this is actually 0 out of 10 rage bait. Madrid and Barca do not play the World Cup.
Deeply apologize. I'm a little bit behind on my football knowledge.
The World Cup is nations.
Correct. That is very, very true. I do remember seeing the bracket now, and I remember being very happy that we saw Canada in there.
Yeah, well, Canada actually gets to qualify by default by being a host.
Look at that. Look at those Canadians go. Good on them doing hosting stuff. That's wonderful, truly.
But yeah, hey, they still deserved it. Last World
Yeah,
Cup 2022, they qualified normally. So it's not like, Canada hasn't qualified in the past 60 years and they qualified only because they hosted the World Cup. No, they earned their spot in the last one. Sadly, they couldn't claim a win, but they still played great. They deserve to be back in it. They're probably
Yep,
again
yep.
probably not even top 3, maybe even top 2.
Really?
Maybe the second best in the country. Sorry, not in the country, in the continent. Especially with that placement they got in when they went to South America to play the Copa America, which is against Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, all these big teams, and they got a semifinal finish,
Wow.
which is great. The U.S. and Mexico do that, and they go get whooped every time they go down there.
Really?
Yeah, Mexico.
Well-
Mexico. I don't even think they made out of groups actually.
Really? See, I thought Mexico was quite a good team.
They are, but when they go play against South American teams, they start choking a little bit.
Oh, I see. It's also a momentum thing for them?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
It's more of a mental thing, actually.
Oh, I see. Well, it's just like the game, like you were saying a little bit earlier. The more you know about real football, the more you know about actual FIFA, EAFC. That is, so I could absolutely see those skills transferring over.
Yeah.
But, I do remember Italy, unfortunately, don't make it this time.
Yeah, Italy did not.
That will
make
be
it.
the one thing that I get correct on this stream.
Hey, for the 3rd time in a row, actually.
Yes, that's right, for the 3rd time in a row. Josh was not very surprised by that fact. He was like, well, is what it is.
Yeah,
I can't say I'm surprised. They've not been the greatest.
the 4-time World Cup winning nation.
Right.
Missing 3 World Cups in a row is actually really funny, especially when they have such elite players in such elite teams. It's just kind of mind-boggling a little bit.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder that, like, no matter how big and how bad the players are, well, bad as in, like, amazingly good. No matter how big and bad the players are, even giants can fall. A real David vs. Goliath situation. And even, I feel like that Interpol match was a good example of that. Nobody really expected the Interpol, but even though it was a fantastic pick.
And look at that. Joshua got handed the Real Madrid as we take on our second match to the Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid, Spain.
All right, another beautiful day. And, oh, geez. All right, so Josh is going to be starting off on the back foot, if I'm reading the teams correctly.
Yep.
Okay, but he is able to get a solid conversion around that midfield area. It does get, unfortunately, stolen away, so it is going to be back over into the hands of, oh, geez, I believe this is Oakland. Oh.
Yeah, Oakland, and now we have the ball. Joshua controlling the Los Blancos, as Madrid is known, full white kit. Since the beginning of their history, never worn anything
Really?
but white as a home kit.
Very, very cool indeed.
And now we're going back here as Neves has that ball. Dembele, the current Ballon d'Or winner, bringing it up back to João Neves. Putting it up to Vitinha, gets stolen. Chouameni, Bellingham, our English partner here. Can he put the ball up to Mbappe? Yes, he can. Mbappe got the control. And if he can get through, he can get a shot. No, the ball will be lost to Nuno Mendes as the ball goes to João Neves. Back to Doe, the wonder kid. Back to Neves, Vitinha, Cavarasteria. Oh, he doesn't have Barcola on the left wing. That's interesting. Interesting pick.
Interesting. That might be another curveball that Josh is yet to adapt to.
Oh, what a save by Courtois.
Near miss once again. We've seen this player been very, very aggressive on these opening picks and kicks. But so far, nothing has really gone his way. This one might be very different as he secures the first goal in map number 2.
And that will be his Achilles.
His Achilles heel.
Yeah, his Achilles heel will be that right wing. Álvaro Carreras is not a very good player, neither in real life nor in the game.
I don't think you needed to say all that, but, go on.
Hey, it's true. Hey, Vinny Jr., can he get it? Yes,
Oh
goes
my
on the
goodness.
keeper.
Oh.
No, but Hakimi. The Moroccan is there to keep the ball in play. João Neves back to Vitinha. Keeps it up. Doe, can he go for a play? No, Filigrana. Gonzalo Ramos for another Portuguese. Dembele puts it back up to Doe. Can he cut it back? The French national team partners. Neves back to Ramos. Puts it through Dembele. And what a play from PSG. A quick pause request from Joshua as 10 minutes in. We are down 2-0.
Oh, no.
And as I said it from the beginning, that Achilles heel is going to start bleeding. And Álvaro Carreras, as in real life, is getting absolutely crucified down that right wing.
Man, I just wish I could go give a Band-Aid for to this Achilles heel, which is bleeding profusely. Oh my goodness, it's such a heartbreaker. Josh really, really, really wanted to go out with a bang on this one and secure that 3rd trophy for his name. But, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I don't know if it's in the cards.
I mean, 17 minute. same. They're basically playing almost equal teams in the way of play and a way of everything. So he'll a chance. He just has to be able to connect with Vinny, has to be able to connect with Mbappe, and now he gets the ball to Rodrigo, gets the ball to Mbappe, as I said, gets a shot, misses. Vinny can cut it back. Vinny another touch, and he's just like real life. He just misses. Anyways, Due bringing the ball back up. Vitinha, Kvara, the ball gets stolen by Rodiger. No, lost. Goes to Alexander-Arnold. Trent, the Liverpool signee. Kvara cuts it back to Dembele, puts it up to Gonzalo Ramos. And that's an early 3-0 from PSG. And let me add, the last game was realistic. This one's even more realistic.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't like that one bit. You're saying it's even more realistic. So, based on the game that's happened already or could be happening soon, what is the likely outcome of this game? Does Josh get a goal here?
Josh, if he starts playing like Madrid should be playing in real life instead of how they're actually playing, he should win. But Dembele gets another shot on target. And the Ballon d'Or winner won his second of the night. He puts it back out to Dembele. Number 10, El Mosquito, puts it back up to Pacho. The Ecuadorian, Neves, puts it back up to Guevara, the Georgian, and he cuts it off. Trent has to bring the ball up. He loses to Guevara in the defensive third. Back up to Dembele. What a pass. Might be offside, though. Dembele cuts it back to Gonzalo. What a save by Courtois. Keeping the game alive. Another corner kick. Puts it back up to Ramos. He will put it to Dembele. Dembele with a little bit of filigrana. Puts it back up. Joga Bonito from the French national team member. Vinny, what's going to show him the real Joga Bonito. Tchouaméni, Rodrigo, all the Brazilian on this Madrid squad. Can he cut it to Mbappe? He can't square it. Puts it back. Puts it to Vinny. If he gets a cut across, he might be able to get a shot. Loses it to Marquinhos, the other Brazilian, the Brazilian captain for this World Cup. Doe, bring it up. Ramos has it through. Has Dembele in the mid. He has to give it. Militao goes for a cross. And Gonzalo Ramos gets, maybe, I forgot if that's a brace or a hat trick at this point. Brace.
It is going to be a brace because a hat trick is just 3. But, you know, I say just 3 as if that's not already impressive. Scoring on a player like Josh, even once, is a feat greater than many other feats in this world. But scoring 4 times in a row is absolutely unheard of.
Yeah, Bellingham bringing the ball back up. Valverde gets to Vinny. No, he can't. Doe brings it back. Valverde, can he give it to Vinny? He can. Back to Bellingham. English, no, can't connect with Ninja Turtle.
Ninja Turtle, like the show.
Yeah, Mbappe. He's not. He actually really likes going by Mikey from the Ninja Turtles, but the ball's out to do it, and it's an offside. Thank the football gods. The ball gets cut back to Rudiger. Put to Bellingham. Mbappe's there, but he will try to square it. What a through ball to Mbappe, but he will lose it to Upamecano.
Oh, no. Is he trying to burn the clock already? Just trying to keep it in the defensive side. We don't quite know. But what we do know is this is not looking very good for Joshua. He's got to turn this around. He's got to figure out what's going on and kind of exploit some kind of weakness. But I don't even know what weakness has been found yet.
Yeah, the weaknesses are not being spotted. Joshua with Rodrigo down the wing. Valverde goes to Vinny. Vinny's finally through on goal. Gets a shot. And there you have it. 4-1. I've seen this before, but Barca did it. A comeback from 4-0 against PSG at the Camp Nou. Can Joshua replicate that story?
We certainly hope so. Maybe Josh is starting to get into the spirits of Madrid. And, you know, he'll end up winning this game. But he's just got to get that ball first. There's a couple players running for it. Can he juke this player out? Yes, he can. Now it's just a matter of time as if he can get it up that field. That midfield is absolutely stacked. It's going to be very hard to make it through. He's going to have to tiki-taka his way back over there. Tries to pass it through, but it does get stolen over to Mendes.
And the ball here. Mendes, Nuno keeping it up. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele. He gets the ball through to Ramos. Militao's faster though. Has to use watch out for Dembele. Kvara, he can put a cross in right now. He's faster than Trent. Dembele will turn around and he'll miss the open net. This is the lifeline that Joshua needs as the whistle for halftime is blown.
Yeah, that was for halftime. Let's see if Joshua can turn it around on the offensive side. We can only hope that he's got something in the bank, because I know if I was in his shoes, I'd be absolutely done for.
I think he finally found a key again, same way he found with Doku. but he's not being able to connect with his strikers, his wingers. They're so disconnected. He's only being able to get a pass onto his wingers when the opponent wants him to, because he knows he's just wasting time. He's perfectly defending everything, and especially with the strength of the wings that PSG have. Trent and Carreras on those wings are getting crucified.
Yeah, it's been very, very hard. And, you know, I was praising Joshua a little bit earlier for all his methodical play. I feel like the Oakland player is also extremely methodical, thinking of absolutely every angle that he could be attacked from, and just kind of planning for everything, even on the fly. It's quite impressive, really. But we'll see. Joshua is going to be starting off with the ball in his feet. I was going to say his hands, but that would be illegal. He's going to be starting off the ball in his possession, but unfortunately does get stolen over towards Oakland. And we'll see what he can do.
The ball goes to Neves. Bellingham has to get active. We have to see a lot from the English prospect. He has not been doing too much. Bellingham gets past Camavinga over to Dembele. He gets ball stolen by Rudiger. He cannot connect to Mbappe as Pacho is too aware. Carreras against Guevara and Due. Ramos is through. If he squares the ball to Dembele, that might be it. Dembele gets a shot. And another lifeline being handed to Joshua as Dembele, the Ballon d'Or winner, misses. Rudiger gets the ball stolen very early. Dembele is through, and he won't be missing that one. But I think that might be an offside call. It is.
Whew. Another lifeline thrown over to Joshua. We'll see how many more lifelines he's got in the bank. But for now, he's going to be making quite a bit of space. But unfortunately, it does get stolen away rather quickly. We'll see.
Ball to, again, back to Chevalier. Mendes, back to Guevara. Number 7. He's keeping the ball, playing around with Trent. Back to Dembele, up to Ramos, which is doing a beautiful work and holding. Doe, the youth player of the Champions League. Rudiger gets the ball back. Militao, Álvaro Carreras, back to Bellingham. Bellingham to Mbappe, who's dropped back to his true number 10 position. Valverde brings it up, puts it to Rodrigo. The ball won't go through as Hakimi puts that ball up to Doe. Doe getting around Carreras. Ramos has enough pace to get through, but Camavinga's there to help. He will get, João Neves won't lose the ball. He just keeps it spinning around. The Anthony turn. Doe with a nice, beautiful chop back to Ramos. Dembele's not there, bro. The ball back to Neves. Just keeping it up. Militao with a great stop. Can he put it back to Trent? Up to Mbappe. We'll put it to Vinny. Don't go to Rodrigo. Don't do it. Yeah, he will.
Oh, he's going to risk.
And the ball will listen to Nuno Mendes.
Very, very unfortunate. He took a big, big risk passing it up there. And unfortunately, he gambled and very, very much lost. With only 30 minutes remaining, he's got to score. He's got to score 1 goal for every 10 in-game minutes. It's not going to be very easy.
Yeah, it's going to be a little hard as the ball gets brought out to Kvaratskhelia on the left wing. Cuts it back out to Dembele. Dembele, one more pass and it'll be a free net. The Donnarumma, Courtois will be able to save that ball as Camavinga tries to bring it up. Bellingham back up to Valverde. Mbappe out to Vinny. He will be stopped by his national team teammate Marquinhos. Over to Doe, the French national. He will put it back, chopper around. Carreras absolutely getting dumpstered on the wing. He finally bullies him off the ball. Physicality is what we need. Bellingham up to Vinny. Mbappe just playing as a holding midfielder, loses it to João Neves. Puts it up, gets it back up to Doe. Just keeps the possession and the time's running low. 20 minutes remaining. A beautiful stop from Militao, who will bring it back out to Rodrigo. Rodrigo is going to go try to crucify Nuno Mendes, and he gets stopped. Valverde over to Rodrigo. Mbappe just trying to keep the ball in play. Vinny, can Vinny get a shot? He can put it across. He has to go for it. And Vinny finds his second goal for Joshua.
My goodness, do you believe in miracles? That was a phenomenal goal from halfway across the field, it felt like. And now with, I believe, 25 minutes remaining, he's got to score 2 more goals to push this into an overtime game. And then it's no second chances in that third match. But he's got to score those next 2 goals. Oh my goodness, it's going to be very, very rough. But let's just ask one more time. Do you believe in miracles, YG?
I do believe in miracles. I've seen him happen before, especially with the white shirt he's wearing tonight. Bellingham cuts it back to Camavinga. Valverde. La remontada is on. Can he put it to Rodrigo? He can. finds Vinny. Valverde putting a non-so Madrid tiki-taka. Will lose it to Vitinha in a crucial spot. He puts it back over to Ramos. Ramos puts it over to Vitinha. The Portuguese connection cut over by Trent. Rodrigo, Mbappe, keeping it up. Vinny, he's trying to dribble it up, but he can't find Camavinga. Back over to Dembele. Valverde with a beautiful steal in the defensive third. Over to Vinny. Only 3 ahead of him. Can he cut? No, Hakimi's there to stop him. Puts it back over. Ramos. Ramos just trying to calm down the game now. The Oakland player starting to think about time. 80 minutes, 10 minutes remaining for 2 goals. We believe in miracles here, ladies and gentlemen. The ball gets crossed over by Marquinhos. Marquinhos just keeping possession, trying to put it up. No, Carreras doesn't steal it. Ramos puts it through. It's over to the Ballon d'Or winner, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and that might be the nail in the coffin by Oakland. Kvara, with a brace of his own, buries it for the Madrid Tears.
Tears is absolutely right. I am bowling up a storm right here. Oh my goodness, God save the Queen. It was a good try. There's still some hope, but every second that passes is a second that Josh is not going to be able to turn this one around. Oh my goodness, we believed, but sometimes you need to come back and just try again even stronger. You know, you cannot learn if you cannot fail. And I feel like there's some
what a
lessons.
beautiful ball. Can he get it across Mbappe? No, Chevalier is outside, but he pings it back and picks it up. And that's it. There's no time, I don't think, unless the stoppage time is very nice. He drops it down with Chevalier, puts it over to Nuno. Nuno to Kvara, number 7. Dembele playing around, will bring it back. Put it back over to Kvara. No, Valverde will get a stop. Puts it over to Mbappe, and that's a red.
That's got to be a foul. That's got to be a foul. Take him off of the field. Get him out of there. No, not a yellow. Get him a red. Get him out of there. Oh, no.
Behind the back challenge, 89 minutes remaining. Joshua trying to find anything. Rodrigo cuts it over to Bellingham, and no, we will be having a Noche de los Pañuelos Blancos again in the Santiago Bernabeu as the Oakland player brings the ball out of play. The referee blows his whistle, and Joshua's third chip chance blows away like those handkerchiefs in Madrid.
Yeah, I will be. Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to say. I'll be so honest, he worked so hard to get up here. He played so insanely well against every single opponent. It just seems like the curveballs were a little too much.
Yeah, he got absolutely physical. That final third, that final pass just wasn't there for him. It just didn't show. He couldn't get the ball into his attacker. Every time he did, if you think about it, Doku got it in. Vinny got 2.
Yeah.
Every time he finally got through, he got it. But tonight just wasn't the night. The balls just weren't making it through.
Man, it's just quite unfortunate. Oh man, what do you think the chances are of a rematch?
None.
Oh, and I thought you said you believed in miracles. That would be an absolutely smashing event to see a rematch against Condors vs Oakland. But if it's not in the cards, I guess the least we could do is let him speak his piece and let us know how he's been doing. So I think we'll be able to get that going in just a couple minutes here. Any last things that you want to say about that phenomenal game?
I was gonna say Joshua, amazing guy, amazing player, the best FIFA player that we have here in the Condors. He should leave with his head high. Just not his night. He's played an amazing season all season. He has nothing to worry about. It just wasn't it. It wasn't in the cards. You said at the beginning.
You know what? I do in fact regret saying it at the beginning. I feel like I might have manifested it into it not happening tonight. But at the end of the day, you know what? Life will always move on. The only thing we can do is hope that Joshua will keep on playing because he's a phenomenal player. Even if he doesn't get it in this collegiate esports tournament, he might be able to get it in the big leagues a little bit later on. But you know, let's stop the yapping and start the talking with our player. Give us a couple minutes, and we'll be right with you.
Game begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through OFSI has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
You better listen up. Listen when I'm feeling it. Yeah, I got a hit list. Never chasing any bag, only teach where to place them. Solo on a throne, don't need another man telling me how to live life lavishly. Cause I'm built different, boy, let me speak. Try to pretend me, but you take it to the main dish.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the man, the myth, the legend, the absolute beast of the Conestoga Condors. Unfortunately, tonight was not his night, but let's take a look at all of the amazing accomplishments that you have gotten over your esports career here, man. You wanna try to tell us about all the amazing awards you've won?
I won ECAC last semester, and I won I think a year before that. So I think those will be the highlights I look back at and still just keep my head up with those. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And YG was saying the exact same thing. Even though you didn't make it tonight, the fact that you've won 2 championships, basically back-to-back, that's really impressive. Like, very few people actually win even 1, let alone 2 back-to-back. But my main question is, are you going to keep going with esports?
Honestly, that's something I would have to rethink right about now. This feels kind of cruel for me. I've come this far and not gotten to the end. But that's something I would think. I think probably just some time off, and then I'll see how I feel by fall, and then we'll see.
I got you, man. Well, regardless, make sure to keep us updated, man. Condors Esports, all the favorite channels. And now something that YG wanted me to ask you, and something that you were actually pretty excited to tell me about is how come the ball wasn't able to make it past the defensive third against Interpol? Any ideas?
I honestly know everything that went wrong. It was just, they just sat back and defended, and I couldn't just break through. If I probably have to do it again, I'll probably find a way. But for now, he won, I lost. I can't say much about it. But from just like a moment ago, I was just looking at the games before the interview and what happened exactly and why I couldn't just go through. And I guess it was just the sit-back defensive style. I was not prepared completely for that because I've not played against them or seen anyone that played against Inter Milan and played. But I just couldn't get past the defense. It was just not my day, I guess.
Oh, hey, man, it happens. If you did have to go through that game number 1 again, would you have picked the Liverpool, or would the team stay the same?
I would have changed the team. I predicted a setup from him that did not actually plan out to be his preferred setup. So I shot myself in the foot there, went into that game on the back foot. But if I have to go back, I would first of all change my team and then be able to counterattack whatever he has planned now.
All right, man. Well, I wish you the absolute best of luck on that one. And, even if you do take a break, will we be seeing you when FC 27 drops?
I hope so. I actually hope so, but for now, it's too far to tell. But we'll see how it feels. I mean, I've just come off a heavy loss, so it will take some time. So I can't give you a definitive answer, but just for the sake of getting myself back right and everyone that probably watches me and supports me, I hope so.
Well, hey, man, win or lose, we will always be supporting you, or at the very least, I will be there for you, man. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million trophies or 0. We absolutely loved having you here. Having you on the Condors was probably one of the best decisions for, everybody as a whole at the Esports Hub. You were such a heavy hitter. You can't really underestimate the clobbering that you've done to some of those teams. And even you were saying before, that's a wonderful term. And, man, any last things before we wrap it up?
Honestly, I've said I'll do a lot of things different, but then I have to congratulate the opponent because he just played better than me today. I guess today was not my day. But thank you everybody for the support throughout the season, last season. It's unfortunate I couldn't replicate that this time around. But I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. Hopefully, I get one more. But if not, but we'll see how it goes. But thank everyone for the support, for the love, Zach, and everybody in esports, from you down to media. It's been a great semester as well. And I just want to thank you guys for showing up, win or lose, you know. You guys have been here and you guys have made everything possible. It's just, I'm grateful for everything.
Well, I couldn't say it better myself, and I think that's going to have to be all. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for playing your absolute best today. Thank you very much. I'm Gareth, this is Josh, and we are going to be out for now.
Game begin.
Off-seas, we've been around for about two to 3 years now. We started during the pandemic. We started with virtual tournaments, getting students, from across the province to be able to play together. One of our short-term and long-term goals has been to, provide an opportunity for an in-person event. We actually have teams coming from all over the province. Some of the other titles that we've supported through Off-sea has been League of Legends, Smash Brothers, Valorant. So we of course have Rocket League. And our most recent one will be Minecraft Education. So we try to choose whatever title our players want to play. So as long as we have demand for a title, that's the title we go with.
You better listen up. Listen when I'm feeling it. Yeah, I got a hit list. Never chasing any bag, only teach where to place 'em. Solo on a throne, don't need another mentality.